A lot of the things that we're involved in, again, the courts have been very recognized that you don't necessarily need initials after your name to be able to successfully connect with people in healthy ways. We do an anger management class, sessions. I've got several hundred continuing education credits through the American Association of Christian Counselors. And as a result of that, I got a bunch of their material that I utilize for, especially in the anger management and domestic violence and those areas. Sometimes the court will assign somebody to come and do those classes with me because so many of the other agencies in the area are swamped. They know where we're going to get. And so they're looking for connection. Children's Services, as was already mentioned, we see a lot of folks. I see folks from out of the county. That's a frequently. One of Phil's niches is once you connect with me, I'm like a tick. You're not going to shake me off. You're not going to shake me off. Yeah. Not going to shake me off. I stick with them. And that means I go to court with them. That means I go to Children's Services meetings with them. That means I took the guy to work today. His taxi didn't show up. Why? Because I don't want him to lose his job. Right. He needs his job. You know, in the world we live in today, 1 or 2 times of not being there or being late, you're out. I want him to keep his job. And if it means my running somebody up to go, Joe, if I can make it happen, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make it happen. And that's a connection that we've talked about, building relationships. Got guys that are coming to our group class that have been coming for 8 and 10 and 12 years. Because they started coming when they were having a child. And you know, the reason I can tell you that is because I know how old their kid is. And they continue to come. Yeah, they're in a different stage of life now. They're in a different stage of parenting now. They're in a different stage of problems now. And that's fine. We're in it to win it. And so one of the things that, you know, I keep hammering into the guys at the pathways is, yes, we have all become, we are all products of our past. Absolutely, positively, can't change it. It's our option to remain a prisoner to our past. We try and give them direction, try and give them hope, try and give them tools, try to give them encouragement to move beyond that. Shut that chapter, deal with it appropriately so we can move on. And that's a key. That's a key. I probably overextended my time.
No, you got 3 minutes.
Okay, questions? I'm also a notary. I'm also a guardian ad litem.
I was going to say, talk about how you're a resource to everybody at the center. Talk about that.
Resource.
Like if somebody needs help with
Oh, yeah. I've got a lot of connections in the community. Before Chaplain Greer, her husband David and I worked together there in the jail. I was assistant chaplain with Lee Anderson for 30 years. So I have a lot of connections to what I prefer to call the marginalized community of Wayne County. People that aren't comfortable coming into church, people that aren't comfortable going to whatever agency, people that may smell funny, may look dirty, may not fit the mold, whatever mold that is. As a result of that, you know, I got 2 referrals, one of which I saw the other day from the folks that I know at Metro. I've got some great contacts in Metro. They said, hey, this gal came in, her significant somebody is incarcerated and is really struggling. Can you see about getting in to see him? I delayed a couple weeks, in all honesty, and I'm ashamed of that. But I'm just so busy, just like, what's going to give here? And I felt the Lord's prompting. And so I contacted Chaplain Greer, and I says, hey, I need to see these folks. She was able to get me in to see 2 of the group, and that's fine. Those 2 needed to see me. The one was, I don't know if anybody in here besides me and a couple others know what a turtle suit is, but he was in a turtle suit, he was in a suicide watch, he was in a fishbowl, he wanted to commit suicide. He was, how can I commit suicide in this situation? He's waiting on a bed to be available at Heartland. That's not right. Anyhow, the psychiatric hospital. The name will come to me after a while. He's waiting on a bed. He's struggling like crazy. shared his struggles as we talked. He finally says he started to cry. And he says, 30 minutes ago, I was trying to figure out how to commit suicide, how to off myself and get out of here because I don't like how I'm living. I can't stand to live this way. And he says, I've been talking about God, I've been thinking about God, I don't know about God. And I said, he said, I prayed, God, if you're real, show me. 15 minutes later, I show up. Hello. Looking for a sign?
That's the same.
That was it.
That's the same.
It was an awesome time together. I will be back to see him. I pray that he's recognizing, and he really, he just was broken down. He just, he went on and on and on. The Lord has showed up. God has showed up. He showed me He's real. Da 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 da. That's the connection. That's the connection.
That's right.
And so I got back with my connection at Metro and says, guess what? I've got a really cool story how God worked between us.
Mm-hmm.
That's the connection and relationships we're talking about. Okay? So yeah, as a guardian ad litem, I can be a legal representative of a minor to represent children in the court system. As a notary, I got started being a notary because I saw in the jail a lot of times there was opportunities for folks to maybe get money on their books or maybe get their car sold so they could pay for their lawyer, but they needed a notary and nobody in the jail would be a notary, so I said, yeah, I can fill that niche. And some things like that. We have a lot of connections within the community. I've got some connections with car repair folks, got connections with people wanting to donate a vehicle. We just had the chance with Kate to put a vehicle that was donated in the hands of some clients that were in desperate need of transportation. So a lot of different connections that come together. Questions?